Let them eat seals. Why social justice warriors are so wrong about their latest outrage. Condemn restaurant in Toronto serves 2 dishes made with raw seal meat. And that has predictably drawn the ire of anti-seal hunt activists who have made an online petition asking the restaurant to take the meat off the menu. Full disclosure, everybody, before I go any further, I'm an avid hunter and I'm also a carnivore. And there's so much misinformation floating around about, well, all hunting in general, but the seal hunt is absolutely the worst when it comes to the level of ignorance from anti-seal hunt activists. I think if something's not endangered and you want to eat it, knock yourself out. But that's the problem. So many people actually think that seals are endangered. The author of the online petition to Condemn Restaurant thinks that seals are endangered due to climate change. Let me read to you from the petition itself. It says, "We know that the killing of innocent beings is wrong. We know that due to global warming, the ice where these beautiful creatures live has been melting, and the seal pups are drowning. So killing them is not a matter of population control." Guys, I love this so much. The seals are innocent, okay, but that cow that died for your hamburger, he must have been guilty of something. Obviously, he was asking for it. And this idea that seal pups are drowning because of climate change, it is just so beautifully wrong. But people actually think these things. So let's do a little myth busting. According to the Department of Fisheries and Oceans, seal populations across the board are increasing steadily. This is directly from the DFO website. It says, the Northwest Atlantic harp seal population is healthy and abundant with an estimated population of 7.4 million animals, almost 6 times what it was in the 1970s. There is some evidence to suggest that the harp seal population may be reaching levels close to its natural carrying capacity, which is the maximum number of individuals of a particular species that can be sustained by that species' ecosystem. Look, I get it. Harp seals are cute. They look like little stuffed animals with their big black eyes, but they're getting to be a lot more like ocean rats at this point, which is also good news because of the 6 species of Canadian seals, harp seals account for almost all the seals harvested commercially here in Canada. The Department of Fisheries and Oceans observes, sets limits on the hunt, and even grants permits to anyone else who wants to observe the seal harvest for themselves. You know me, I'm not the biggest fan of any government agency in general, but the DFO does do a good job of making sure the hunt is sustainable, humane, and transparent. And for anyone who brings up that old, tired argument that the seals are just little tiny babies, well, they aren't. Baby seals have white pelts, and taking an animal with a white pelt is illegal here in Canada. And that clubbing on the head that seal hunters do, that tool is called a hack-a-pick. And what it does is it ensures the animal is instantly dead. It's the ice flow version of the bolt gun assembly line that commercial abattoirs use for cattle. It looks ugly, but it's the humane way. So those are the facts. So now we have the facts. Let's get to the social justice failure in this whole story. Jennifer Matos, the woman who started the petition, told CBC, and I quote, "I started a petition for the restaurant to remove seal meat from the menu because it is sourced by the commercial hunt and not the indigenous hunt." Okay, this is a little bit racist to me. Actually, it feels a lot bit racist. Let's be honest. A dead animal, albeit a delicious one, is still a dead animal, and it is no more righteously dead depending on the race of the person who killed it. If the young lady who started this petition thinks the seal hunt is violent, then it should always be considered violent according to her, no matter who is doing the killing of the animal. And non-Indigenous hunters have been engaging in the seal hunt sustainably, obviously, for about 450 years. It's part of their culture too, and it sustains their local communities too. In places like Newfoundland, where the seals are just a way of life, some restaurants are trying to treat the seals like cattle or like the buffalo of the sea, harvesting them, eating them, and using all the parts. What if we applied this crazy metric to every other meat? That if an animal was traditionally harvested by Indigenous hunters, then the only way you can use the animal is through an indigenous hunter. Bison, venison, and salmon, well, they're all commercially farmed now. The slippery slope being demanded by these activists would mean that those proteins too would have to be sourced from Aboriginal hunters. This is crazy. This would price the average consumer out of using these very Canadian foods. And here I thought these activists wanted us all to eat local. But the craziest thing is that the petition against this restaurant serving seal meat is that it's directed at an Aboriginal-owned restaurant. The restaurant's named Cookum's Kitchen for a reason. Cookum is the Cree word for grandma. The restaurant checks a lot of the social justice boxes the left usually cares about, but for these activists, the seals, animals at risk of overpopulation, are more important than showcasing Aboriginal culture, Canadian natural resources, supporting Aboriginal-owned businesses, and paying tribute to the powerful Aboriginal woman who inspired the owner to go into business in the first place. These far-left activists are always hurting the people they claim to be helping. SJWs, they're always so concerned about paternalism and colonialism, but here they are with their animal rights colonialism, trying to tell an Aboriginal entrepreneur what to do with his own business. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. Justin Trudeau is part of the social justice warrior attack on Canadian natural resources, but he learned his habits from his old man. Go to justlikehis.dad.com and find out how you can help us fight back.